Hello, welcome to the Geeknd Live. Not in a shed for the first week. For anybody who doesn't know, who missed the latest update and last week's stream, I am currently going to be, well, I currently am in Mexico City, and I'm going to be here for a little while. I'm in like a random Airbnb. When I say random, it is the one that I've rented, but it is random in terms of the background. I'll probably try again to find a better position for streaming. It's not exactly on brand in the background there, but kind of limited in terms of what I can do. But I'm here, and some of you are here, and that's the main thing. So we're going to talk Star Wars, but first of all, let's see who's in the chat. I know Glenn, the geeky hippie, is there and has been there for a while, as is Jane Flakes as well. Supreme Leader Brad Snoke is in the house. Gaz Nottingham on his drive home from work, driving safely, of course, is here as best as he can be whilst driving safely. Who else? There was somebody else. No, that was it. So hello, everybody. It's really weird being on this time zone for the stream, because usually when I do the stream, obviously in the UK, it's like 6 p.m., which, to be honest, seems to be a kind of awkward time for people in the UK, people in Europe in general, because some are still at work, some are traveling home from work. It's a bit of a strange time. So, now I know how people on the other side of the pond have been, what kind of period of time they've been in during the stream, because this feels really weirdly early. It's 12 noon here in Mexico. Right. I can see Anders is here as well. Chad, the stopwatch Campbell, doing his thing. Now, last time we did a stream, which I think was 2 weeks ago, Chad, we actually nailed it, mate. First time, under 30 minutes, and you weren't there. So maybe you have been our downfall in terms of the timekeeping. Perhaps it's you with all your constant reminders, which I have to read, because if I see it, I'll read it. I'm kind of Ron Burgundy when it comes to the live chat. That actually adds to the time. Star Wars Meg is here. Hello, Meg. We're going to talk very soon, aren't we? Very, very soon. And Jane asked how Mexico is. So I'm in Mexico City. It's Independence Day here. So last night I was invited to a friend's grand's house, which was kind of cool. It was like a family gathering, and they did all traditional stuff, So last night was like the beginning of the independence celebrations, and today's a public holiday. It's going okay. Yeah, I've been here just over a week now. It's weird because I didn't really have to settle in, because I've actually stayed in this apartment before. I know the area really well. So it doesn't take settling in terms of getting to know the city and getting to know the place. I've been here a lot of times over the years for long periods of time, not as long as this potentially is going to be. But yeah, I'm not settled in terms of, obviously it's things from home I miss, and, a few things I'm worried about at home and stuff. So you can never be fully settled when you're this far from home. But overall, going really well. Thank you for asking. Right. Mark O is here as well. Good to see you, Mark, mate, over in Ireland. And thank you as well for all the comments on my update video in regards to the future of the channel. I'm going to reply to them all in the next few days. There was a lot of them. All very nice. Thank you. How fluent am I in Spanish? See, the thing is, I'm not. But I used to think I was quite good at Spanish in terms of going to Spain and just being able to get by with the basics, ordering cervezas and asking for the bill, quisiera la cuenta, por favor. But there are differences with Mexican Spanish to European Spanish. So I learned a few years ago when I first came here that actually, I've got to start again to a certain extent. So it's very basic. It's very basic. Google Translate is my friend. But I do have a lot of friends here and they all speak English. But I'm trying to get better. I'm doing Duolingo, but I'm not doing very well with it. It keeps hassling me every day saying, I need to pull my socks up. Hello to Phil as well. And Simon D is here also. Right. So we are going to talk some Star Wars. But first of all, I will just address a couple more comments and then we will talk Star Wars. I'm in, it's, what is it? It's 12:05 now. So I'm 1 hour. You're 1 hour ahead of me, Chad, hey? So there we go. All this time travel is crazy. But I'm going to do the streams later from now on. Actually, Gaz Nottingham, he actually suggested this, and it's a good idea because this is really weird doing it this early for me, to be honest. I mean, I'm an early riser anyway, but this it's just a different vibe to how I did it before. So I kind of think 6 p.m. worked for me back then. in kind of lockdown mode, even though for the majority of recent times we haven't been in lockdown in the UK. So I kind of feel like it's a bad time, like I said, for people in Europe, because again, people are still at work or finishing work, traveling from work. So I'm thinking of maybe doing it a few hours later, which maybe even works better for people on this side of the pond. Hey, our side of the pond. So keep an eye out for next week's stream. It might be a couple of hours later. And then eventually, I'm pretty flexible while I'm here. So eventually, maybe we can find a time that suits as many people as possible. But next week, we'll try it a couple of hours later. Cameron's here as well. Good to see you. Yeah, it is Central Time Zone. It is, yeah, CT. That's CT, isn't it? So, right. Anyway, let's do some Star Wars. I feel like Chad's trying to extend the stream. He's trying to actually bring down the successful streak we've had of 1 30-minute stream. So, right, let's get on with some Star Wars chat. There's not much, to be honest. We have got Visions. Visions is coming out next week, isn't it? September 22nd. So we can talk about that next week. Bit of sad news. Oh, hang on. There's a question. Did I bring Vigo? Here's some sad news then. No, I did not bring Vigo. Vigo can't be trusted on a plane. I did not bring him. I do need something though, don't I? Because again, this background is it's not on brand, man. You know, it's very not me. Very not me. The zebra background. Merv's here as well. Good evening. Good afternoon. Where I am. I'm very confused. Very confused with the time zone difference on this stream. But good to see you, Merv. 24 minutes remaining. Yeah, okay, I do need to get on with the Star Wars chat. All right, there has been some sad news since we last spoke. Tom Kane. Hang on a second. There we go. Voice actor has... Don't worry, I'm not in a war zone if you heard those bangs in the background. Like I said, it's Independence Day here, so... They're letting off pointless, in my opinion, daytime fireworks. Right. Anyway, sad news. Tom Kane, who we did talk about a little while back when the news emerged that he had suffered from a stroke. And sadly, this stroke has led to his retirement from his very impressive voice acting career. So let's have a look at this article on Movie Web. Star Wars voice actor Tom Kane has been forced into early retirement following stroke. The announcement came in a family statement posted by Kane's daughter Sam on her social media. A little bit more information. Veteran voice actor Tom Kane, known for his years of work on numerous Star Wars and Marvel projects, has been forced into retirement after suffering a stroke, as well as voice acting Admiral Akbar in The Last Jedi. So Eric Bauersfeld is the original voice of Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi. And Eric, when I met him, like, I don't know, like 2015-ish, he was like 92, 93. And at that point, he hadn't been asked to come back for the Force Awakens. But eventually, he was asked to come back for the Force Awakens, and he did the Force Awakens. And sadly, he passed away before The Last Jedi. So Tom Kane stood in for that role. Anyway, of course, we all know him probably best when it comes to Star Wars for the Clone Wars, and as the article mentions, numerous projects. But anyway, Kane has most recently been heard as the narrator of Star Wars, the Bad Bunch, it says, but I believe they mean the Bad Batch on Disney Plus, and also voiced Yoda in many Star Wars video games. During his career, he has been part of almost every Marvel animated series you can bring to mind, and will clearly be a huge miss to the industry that he integrated himself into for a long time. I saw someone tweeted, I didn't notice, that he was also the voice of the Oscars as well. Is that right? I don't think this article mentions that, but I did see someone post that on Twitter. Anyway, this is the statement from his, or part of a statement from his daughter, Sam. Because of this stroke, my dad has been forced into early retirement, Sam posted on Friday. The damage to his speech center is just too severe. He cannot read well, nor get out the words he wants, which is sort of required for voice acting. He was what's called apraxia, which means, I don't know if I pronounced that right, which means, I probably haven't, which means he has difficulty moving smoothly from one sound, syllable, or word to another. Groping movements like with his jaw, lips, or tongue to make the correct movement for speech sounds are impaired. Essentially, he knows exactly what he wants to say, he knows exactly what's going on, but the words are trapped in his head. And when they do come out, it's usually too slurred to understand. So yeah, very, very sad to hear that. But Yeah, very sad, and obviously going to be a huge miss to the industry, not just for Star Wars, but for all of the other franchises and projects he was involved in. So there we go, some sad news there. Just going to jump back over to the chat. David's here as well. David, I hope fatherhood is treating you well. I imagine you're a tired man right now. Yeah, you're having sleepless nights. Chad Campbell got to meet Tom Kane in 2019, but never got to interview him. Super sad because he did a great panel and was super nice. Yeah, I've seen a few interviews with him on YouTube where he does come across as like not only a super interesting dude, but really fun as well, and super nice, as you've said. So that was great you got to be in his presence. I suppose he'll not be doing many conventions, or perhaps, you know, maybe further down the line he can get to a point where he can do the conventions, perhaps. Who knows? But that's great that you got to be in his presence, at least. Phil Hawkins, my mum had a stroke last year, so I know how much that can affect someone in terms of speech, etc. Sad news, and I hope your mum is doing well, Phil. I'm back, everyone. The first mistake in Mexico has just happened, has just occurred. I pressed the wrong button. I'm sorry, but Phil, I did read out your message. I think that happened before I made the boo boo. But I do hope your mum is doing well. Sorry if I've missed any. The bad bunch. Yeah, what do we call it? The chat batch. Yeah, very confusing. The chat batch, the bad batch, the bad bunch, the chat bunch. The Zebra Sofa looks like that rat creature from Attack of the Clones, the Nexu. Yeah, maybe also it is on brand then, perhaps, for a Star Wars stream. Yeah, well, was the apartment struck by a firework? No, I'm just still not used to this touch bar thing on the MacBooks. I miss my old MacBook. I don't think I'm the only one who says that. I don't like these touch bars. I want my old school 2015 Mac back. And we have had confirmation from David that he is indeed a tired human man right now. Gaz Nottingham on the Tom Kane story. I hope he recovers, even if he can regain some of his speech. Yeah, here. Daniel, hey Jamie, got a Bad Batch question for you. I mean, I'll try and answer it. Go for it, Daniel. Go for it. Anders says, shame we've lost Tom Kane as a voice actor. He will be missed. Such an iconic voice actor. And Brad Snoke with some fatherly advice for David. Hang in there, David. Mine were night owls for about 6 weeks. It will get better. Congrats, brother. Yes, congrats again to David, who has become a first-time daddy. Right, let's bring in another story, which I think only, because I'm usually, you know, I'm behind the times, usually with these streams and the news. But there was something that I believe, for me at least, this is kind of cutting edge, because I think it only got revealed yesterday. There is a George Lucas ILM documentary heading our way. To where exactly, we don't know. It's not actually, there's no like official announcement in regards to it. So it's not necessarily going on Disney Plus, but reading this article on Collider, it's probably quite likely it's a Disney Plus thing. But this is pretty interesting because Lawrence Kasdan, no less, is directing it. And it's going to be like a docu-series, a 6-part docu-series on George Lucas and ILM. And I know this is right up everybody's street on this channel, because we do like our behind the scenes kind of tidbits, and also you know, we like to go back in time, don't we, as well. So this will be cool. Let's have a look a little bit more at the article and what we know so far. So according to composer James Newton Howard, his friend and a longtime contributor at Lucasfilm, Lawrence Kasdan, a man who is credited writer on some of the studio's biggest films, such as The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens, and Solo, will be directing a 6-episode docuseries on Lucas and ILM. This was revealed on the Score of the Podcast, where Howard said that he had just finished scoring the documentary. So, you know, it's like a casual reveal. This is not an official revealed by any means. Howard also revealed that he might be involved with the upcoming Disney Plus sequel to Lucasfilm's 1988 film Willow, which will be overseen by John Kasdan, the son of Lawrence. They've been filming in Wales for ages. I follow John Kasdan, not in real life. I'm not a real life stalker of John Kasdan, but I follow him on Instagram, and he's been doing a lot of stories, Instagram story diaries, if you like, from Wales. Industrial Light and Magic was founded in 1975 by Lucas when he wanted to create groundbreaking special effects for his upcoming movie Star Wars, teaming up with Douglas Trumbull. Lucas brought together a team of students, artists, and engineers, and after the success of the original film, well, we all know the rest, don't we? So this will be, this is right up my street. This is right up my street. And again, I think a lot of you guys as well. ILM was acquired by Disney when their parent company Lucasfilm was purchased back in 2012. With such a long and reaching involvement in some of the biggest series and blockbusters of the last 50 years, a multi-part, in-depth look at the studio's history will be very interesting to see. So I don't think this is going to be a sort of warts and all documentary on the kind of takeover. I think at first a few people on Twitter I noticed thought this might be, George Lucas is finally going to, speak out and tell the truth on whether he's returning to Star Wars, which apparently is on a week-to-week basis if you read certain websites. So it's not going to be that kind of documentary. It is, as it says here, going to be a multi-part, in-depth look at the studio's history. And I'm there for that. And I want Rick McCallum to cameo. If he's not there, if McCallum doesn't cameo, then I'm out. The documentary does not have a release date as of yet and does not have a means of distribution. I don't think I'll have a problem there, though. While Disney and Lucasfilm are not confirmed to be involved with this production, it is fair to expect that it might end up on Disney Plus, with the rest of the projects coming from the topic of the series. So, yeah, that was cool. That was a bit of a surprise. What do you guys think to that? I'm going to pop back over to the chat. Where were we? Okay, I might have missed a few things. I apologize. Bit more on Tom Kane from Chad here. I'm at least glad that the final episode of The Clone Wars got out. That show without Tom Kane's opening narration would feel empty. Yeah, it was a big part of that, and you'll always hear the difference if they bring in another voice actor, no matter how well they mimic Tom Kane's voice. You'd always still, at least know in your head, it's not quite right. And he did the narration for the first episode of The Bad Batch, didn't he, as well? The kind of pilot, that extra long episode, which was sort of the transition, wasn't it, from the Clone Wars into The Bad Batch. Yeah. Now, Daniel's question in regards to The Bad Batch. Now, I don't know. I haven't played Battlefront, so I don't know if I can answer this. Do you think the destruction of the Camino ruined the clone versus clone battle that came about from the original Battlefront games? I don't know anything about Battlefront. I'm a fraudster when it comes to Star Wars, really. So I don't think I can answer that question. But I think just purely based on watching, those final 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, it didn't ruin anything for me, but then there's nothing for it to ruin in regards to Battlefront for me. But I thought it was beautifully done. Some of those shots, it was just visually beautiful and sad, emotional. The destruction of Camino and the labs and what have you. So I can't answer that, but it'd be interesting if anybody else can answer that in their opinion for Daniel in the chat. If maybe someone has already. What else? Tom Hunt TV's here. Always wanted a drama based on Lucas. Adam Scott to play him. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get. I'm sure we're going to get some kind of more warts on all stuff from Lucas eventually in terms of the Disney takeover and what have you. Could we get a biopic then? Could we? You never know. They're going to run out of people eventually, aren't they? So who knows? And Simon D has chipped in on that. A film about Lucas making Star Wars in 1977, having hypertension and all the stress would be great. Adam Scott could work well. I agree. So I see Glenn has answered or given his opinion, at least on your question, Daniel, there. Gaz didn't hear about the documentary. Hey, breaking news, cutting edge on the Geeknd Live here. You heard it here first, Gaz. Yeah, I'll definitely be watching it too, wherever it may be. In a way, it's kind of, if it does end up on Disney Plus, but Disney didn't make it, I think that's quite a good thing, you know. Like, we've talked recently about the documentaries, comparing the documentaries for the Phantom Menace, say, for example, which was pretty like, I wouldn't go as far as saying warts and all, but it was kind of edgy in a way, wasn't it? They weren't afraid to show the tension, you know, and within the team and, you know, during the process, comparing that to the galleries documentaries, which are beautiful and really, really well done and really great watches, but a little bit squeaky clean. So I think perhaps if Disney were involved from day one with this documentary, that would be the route that would end up going on, as opposed to, you know, independents making it from day one and then hopefully selling their final vision, as opposed to being sent back to the edit to make changes. Chad asks, Jamie, have you heard from Ahmed Best recently on the future of the Jedi Temple Challenge? I ended up liking that more than I thought. The last time I spoke to him is a little while ago now, and there was no Series 2, but he absolutely wants a Series 2. He's up for it. And if you follow him on Twitter particularly, he makes no secret of that. Like, he'll post the odd, give me a moment. The old agua. He makes no secret of the fact that he is well up for a Series 2. He's got a lot of announcements coming up soon about more independent projects, not Star Wars based, or at least he's not going to tell me if it's a season 2. I think he'd give me enough hints. And certainly when we spoke maybe 4 or 5 months ago, he didn't give me that many hints. But he has got a lot of announcements coming up. And as far as I know, they're not Star Wars related. They're more independent kind of projects. But while I'm in this part of the world, I am going to see some friends, hopefully in LA at some point while I'm here. Got to look into the flights and all that, and I'm limiting my travel while I'm here because obviously COVID and that, out of respect to the people of Mexico, because the vaccination rollout is not as far ahead as the UK here. So I'm limiting my travel a bit, but I am going to go to LA at some point. And if Ahmed's in town, we will meet up. So maybe I'll get a scoop for you, Chad. But yeah, I'd be really happy. I mean, I would watch it again for sure, but I'm rooting for Ahmed more than anything here. I'd be really happy for Ahmed if there was a second season of Jedi Temple Challenge. It was a bit odd how it ended up on YouTube, because it was originally meant to be a Disney Plus thing, and Ahmed didn't really seem to know what the idea was there. There was one school of thought which he shared that it was during, I think it was during, like, you know, the height of the beginning of the pandemic, you know, lockdown 1 for the world. So I think it might have been, you know, there was a school of thought that with more kids being at home, make it as accessible as possible for kids by putting it on YouTube. So it'd be interesting if there is a season 2, whether they continue putting it on YouTube, because not a cheap show to produce, or will they put it on Disney Plus? Right, I'm sorry, I've missed loads. Liam, hope you're well, mate. That documentary sounds really interesting, although a part of me doesn't want Disney involved so he can speak openly. It's clear there is some tension there. Yes, I guess a bit like I said earlier, in a way, it's good that they weren't involved from day one, as far as we know, weren't involved from day one with this documentary. But if they do get involved, there is the danger that the producers could be sent back to the edit, you know, to deliver the vision Disney wants as opposed to their original vision. So yeah, let's watch this space on that. But to be honest, if it's not on Disney Plus, I'll watch it wherever it is. And actually, I'm with you, Liam. Actually, perhaps it's better it's just not on Disney Plus at all and not affiliated. Daniel, Dave Filoni has been great at pinching stuff from the old expanded universe. I was expecting it from what was happening. So that's in regards to the question earlier, which I think David and Glenn have chipped in on the chat. Sorry, I couldn't be more use on that. Right. Detours, yeah. What Detours was like, there was strong rumors, as strong as rumors can be, that Detours was going to drop on Disney Plus. It seems bizarre to me, but it's not going to. I'm sure it's going to, because There was an episode leaked, wasn't there, a little while back? I watched it actually. I'm not someone who clicks on leaks very often, but I did watch it because it was around the time I just filmed Lightspeed Tonight, and I just wanted, to see if I could get some inspiration and what have you. And it was okay. It was okay, and essentially it's made. So I don't understand why I didn't just drop it all on Disney Plus. Right. By the way. Oh, yeah, Ahmed doing a live commentary on Phantom would be amazing. Yeah. Ahmed and I will do more stuff together. Oh, Simon said it first. Sorry, I gave the credit to Chad. Get Ahmed to do a live commentary on Phantom Menace when you meet him. Simon, we need to do some live commentaries. We're going to talk about that, aren't we? But yeah, maybe I'd put you on the subs bench if Ahmed was up for it. No offense. But yeah, I think that's something I would do online with him, on Skype or something, because our relationship is purely been like this, apart from the last time I was in LA, like 3 years ago, we met in person. And I did say to him, because we'd always done interviews, although I don't really think of them as interviews now with Ahmed, they're just conversations. It's got to that stage. I was a bit like, dude, do I need to bring a microphone or camera or something? And he's like, no, let's just go for coffee and hang. So I think it would be more something I'd do online with him. But it's a great idea. It's a great idea. And I've mentioned before that Ahmed and I have talked about doing a documentary together, and that could still happen. At the moment, obviously the pandemic didn't help, but at the moment he's super, super, super busy. My head's elsewhere as well, and he may get a better offer of doing something similar with, a bigger production company or what have you. But let's see. Chad Campbell on Detours. Detours seems like it is in this weird limbo. Most likely it looks super dated now with the CG, and then it might not be super Disney friendly. But it could go into, in terms of the look, I don't think that's a problem. It could go into, what do they call the section on Disney Plus where they put like Ewoks and what have you, like a few months ago, and droids. It could just go in there, couldn't it? So I don't think the look is such. Whether it's Disney friendly or not is another thing, but I don't think the look is so much a problem. Hey, by the way, I saw. Hang on a second. What am I doing? I almost clicked the Doom button again. The you may firework when ready button again. I saw Shang-Chi this week, and I really enjoyed it. Because, by the way, even though this channel, as of next week, is officially going to be a Star Wars only channel, I think on the live streams we can chit chat about other stuff as well. So yeah, if anyone saw Shang-Chi, be interested to know what you thought. I really enjoyed it, but there was a problem. Last time I was in Mexico City, I went to the cinema more than I ever have in my life, apart from when I worked in a cinema back in the day. Obviously, then I was there a lot more. But in terms of actually going to the cinema as a punter, because it's so cheap. And most screenings are in English with Spanish subtitles. So I went to see Shang-Chi, the English screening, Spanish subtitles. And obviously, it didn't occur to me. I didn't think it through. Got there. And the first, 10 minutes of the film is in Chinese. So obviously, if you were watching it in the US or UK, Australia, or wherever, then the subtitles would be English. But of course, the subtitles were Spanish. And I would say overall, a third of the film was probably in Chinese. So I was confused for about a third of the film, doing my best to use my very limited Spanish in terms of trying to understand the subtitles. But overall, I really enjoyed it. Simon D, I'm gutted Ahmed's Edinburgh gig didn't happen. I was keen to visit Scotland for that. Yeah, I think we should have done, and if it still happens, do a meetup for that. He's gone very quiet on the one-man show. I will ask him about it next time we meet. Chad, I can see the time is ticking closer to 30 minutes. We're going to go slightly over, I think. I'm sorry. It's your fault. When you weren't here, we managed it. Ahmed's gone very quiet on the one-man show, but then we don't talk every day, so maybe he's not quiet on it. But it was all set to go. So, when did the pandemic really start? Man, it all blurs into one, doesn't it? So let's say March 2020. So he was hoping to do Edinburgh Fringe. What would it have been? August 2020. And then everybody, we're thinking, it'll be fine next year, won't it? And obviously it wasn't really. So I guess he's waiting until things are 100% back to normal. I know in the UK, things are pretty normal. But I guess he's waiting till things are 100% normal before he, makes that big investment. Because he's got a lot of friends in the UK. He was in Stomp. In fact, Simon, he lived in Brighton for a long time. Your neck of the woods. So I imagine he's going to wait until he can kind of go all in on it. And it was so far down the line, I would be very surprised if he's dropped it. I mean, he had Frank Oz on board directing. He had done a test kind of event in New York. He just invited friends in the industry that he knows, who he knows will be really honest with him to sort of critique it afterwards. He was really far down the road with it. So I hope August 2022, he'll do it. He'll bring it over and we can do a Geeknd meetup as well. Liam makes a good point here. Disney Plus has a bunch of adult-orientated stuff on it now, like Family Guy. So I don't think content would be an issue for Detours. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And to be honest, what I did see of Detours, it didn't seem particularly edgy. Gaz, Jamie, thoughts on Hayden's hat? Stunt work would imply a certain amount of action. This small detail gave much excitement. The potential for this series is crazy. So I only know about this because I saw one of those thumbnails when I logged into YouTube not so long ago that Hayden wore a hat. Big news. But yeah, I get the detail here. So this lends to, what was it, Kathleen Kennedy, who said that there's going to be a duel to end all duels or something like that, or they're going to lock swords again, or, something like that. This lends to that, yeah, that indeed he is involved in a very physical and action kind of way, as opposed to just being in flashbacks. And this brings up the conversation we've had before, how much or how well we feel towards the idea that Obi-Wan and Darth could meet again in real time, and the effect that could have on A New Hope, on that meeting. So yeah, the potential is crazy. It is crazy. I'm mostly excited, but still, I don't think if I know this is going to happen, that they're going to meet again, they're going to duel again, I don't think I'll ever be 100% fully on board, comfortable with the idea until I've seen it. And then I'll have to make the final decision, obviously. It's exciting, it's cool, but at the same time, it's risky, isn't it? It's risky in a way. Jane, I still haven't seen Lucifer. I'm sorry, but hopefully someone else in the chat has. And also, I can see Daniel Spartan said as well, in the UK we have The Walking Dead on Disney Plus, but not Fear as well. Anders, in terms of Shang-Chi was an awesome movie. Didn't know what to expect going in, but I was really pleasantly surprised that it was such a solid movie. Fight choreography was on point. Yeah, it was. Again, I was confused for about a third of it, but the action was fine. I understood the action and it was very well done. 1 minute remaining. Yeah, I've gone over. I haven't had 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Oh, you had a lockdown baby, Phil. You had a lockdown baby. I mean, I've had a few friends who had lockdown babies, and they loved it because it was that unique kind of thing where they could actually, go beyond the usual paternity kind of leave that you get, which isn't very long, is it? What is it, a couple of weeks? They actually got to spend, pretty much being around the kid full time. So, I'm sure it was fun. Don't forget to tap the like button, everybody. Don't forget, hit that like button. And Ahmed is the best. You are right, Daniel. He's a top dude. He's a top dude. And I only want the best for him in everything he does. And he's such a varied skill set, and everything he's doing right now is all so different, the different projects he has. And he's a top dude. He's a top dude. And I'm glad he's back in the circle of Star Wars. I'm glad he's come back because, he's now going to be at more conventions and what have you, and he's going to be more involved with the fans. And, he is just a top dude. He's a top dude. And he does care. He does care about Star Wars. Simon D, I'm hoping Jamie and Ahmed arrange a sit-down interview with Jake Lloyd. What an incredible three-way interview with those three would be. Yeah, I mean, I'd possibly so if I could make that happen, I would possibly remove myself from it and take more of a producer. I mean, you wouldn't need to direct this scenario, but possibly take on a more producer role for it, because Ahmed can certainly hold his own as an interviewer. I feel like I might be a spare wheel there. But I would love that. I would love that. Jake Lloyd's top of the list for the channel, to be honest. Right, everybody. Oh, yes, Glenn, thank you for this reminder. Glenn the Geeky Hippie, regular on the Geekend Live. You all know him. He has started a YouTube channel. It's focusing on the Wheel of Time. And I've put a link to the first video on the channel in the video description. So please go and check out Glenn the Geeky Hippie's channel. If you're into the Wheel of Time, if you're intrigued by the Wheel of Time, then he's going to take you on a journey through the Wheel of Time. And I have linked to that, like I said, in the video description. I know some of you subscribed to it a few weeks ago, but there is now a video live. So please go and check it out. Hit the like button over there and all of that kind of stuff. I'll just read this from Jane Flakes. The Star Wars show had a spin-off that had interviews with people who credited Star Wars for making good change. Several of the episodes made me cry. They were so beautiful. Yeah, but hasn't the Star Wars show, which, by the way, I've been part of in the past, hasn't that, it's kind of gone, isn't it? Or is it like a monthly thing now? I don't see it popping up very often anymore. And I think Andy's got another job. I think she's still involved with Lucasfilm on a sort of more part-time basis, but I think she's got another job now. Anyway, they're good people. They're good people. Right. I didn't do any notes, did I? But thank you all for joining. Did I do notes? Is there anything I didn't do? I did make a note, and that was to mention Glenn the Geeky Hippie's channel, which I've now done. So that is great. And it is his first ever video. It's his first ever video, and it's a great job. I said to Glenn was worried that he was a bit wooden in it. I personally didn't think he was wooden, but I don't like watching myself back. I have to when I'm editing, obviously. And I come from a radio background, and I always edited my own stuff in radio. And it took years before I didn't wince when having to listen to myself. It took years before I just got on with it and didn't even think, oh, that's me, or I don't like the way I sound, or whatever. So you're always going to, in your head at least, not like yourself, from where I've been anyway. So it will get better in your head, how you see yourself perform. And also you will just get better. The more you do, you'll get more comfortable, and you won't even think about the fact that you're talking into a camera, into a microphone, you can't see the people you're talking to. It will just become all very natural eventually. But I think it was a great first effort, mate. So well done to Glenn, and thank you, everybody, for joining. So next week, to be honest, don't expect a new background. I might try and, find something that I can do to make it a bit more on point. But next week is the official kind of like, this is now a Star Wars channel only. If you want more of that, check out my latest upload in terms of a update. I always forget, so let me just do this now. Thank you to all Patreon members as well. All Patreon members, and also all of you who joined this week. And thank you to all of you, Chad, Gaz, Daniel, Glenn, Jane, Come Hunt TV. There is so many. David as well. Get some sleep, mate, if you can. But no, thank you to absolutely everybody. Anders, Simon D, of course, Liam, Phil. I'm just scrolling through the names now, so I'll stop. I'm talking to you, Supreme Leader Brad Snoke. Thank you, everybody. 38 minutes. Let's call it. I'd usually say call it a night, but of course call it a day, because the day is still young here in Mexico City. So thank you, everybody. I'll be back later. Let's try a later time next week. So next Thursday, let's try 2 hours later. So 2 p.m. Central Time, which will be 8 p.m. GMT. Is it still BST? Or is it GMT again now? But anyway, 8 p.m. over in UK and Ireland, Mark. And also... because there is no time difference, is there? UK and Ireland. And in Central Europe, what would that be? 9 p.m., I suppose. So anyway, 8 p.m. might be bad in the UK if people are having dinner. I don't know. We'll work it out. Let's try that time next week, and then we'll figure out a time that's best for everybody. As many people as possible all over the world. Irish Tom, thank you, mate. Adios. Hasta luego, everybody. I will see you all next week. I'm going to keep waving till the broadcast ends. I hope you're waving too. Keep waving. Keep waving, everybody. Keep waving.